Today I'm going to attempt to once again make something which should not be a thing, but probably is going to be a thing. Today I'm going to make a tofu frittata, and the recipe will be down below. I'm using the recipe from Sarah's Vegan Kitchen, so hopefully this looks somewhat similar to how she is making it. This is all of the ingredients. So you need 1 block of firm tofu, salt and pepper, garlic and onion powder. I didn't get the powder, I've just got garlic. I've got onion salt and I have garlic granules. So hopefully that is the same thing. The recipe does call for another type of salt that I cannot find anywhere near me, even in Glasgow. So then you also need chickpea flour. I once again could not find chickpea flour, so I got rye flour, and hopefully it's the same, it gives it the same, like, I suppose, outcome, hopefully. The next thing is, obviously, it's a staple in vegan diets, it's nutritional yeast. I've got the brand Engevita nutritional yeast, and this is the flakes. Next is you need an onion, which is the basis of most meals, I suppose. The next thing you need, the recipe does call for asparagus, but I do not like asparagus, so I'm just using spinach because I love spinach. And the next thing is, it calls for mushrooms, and I've probably got a lot more than needed mushrooms, but I love mushrooms. So yeah, let's get to the first step, I suppose. You also need a flan tin, a quiche tin. I bought this one from Wilko and it was only like £4, which is not bad. So it's quite large as well, and I suppose maybe about 10 centimeters depth. So yeah, the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to chop up the onions. Next, it calls for me to saute the onions, which is what I'm going to do. Probably for this recipe you should probably use coconut oil. Oh no, it does say olive oil, yeah. Because I know there's like a whole benefit of coconut oil. I use that when I can and when we actually have it, but most of the time, I think, like most households, you just have olive oil. In a non-stick pan over a medium heat, saute onions in a bit of olive oil until caramelized, about 20 minutes, and then set aside. Okay, that is what I'm going to do. Okay, so the onions are still going, as you can hear. What I'm going to do now is, because the next step is sauteing the mushrooms, so I'm going to cut up the mushrooms. Over here I have already measured out the rye flour, so yeah. And then in this little bowl over here I have measured out like the salt, the pepper, the onion and the garlic. And then I'm thinking of adding in paprika as well, because maybe that'll be a bit nice as well. I think I'm also going to just add in the nutritional flakes, because I think it does ask for that to be added in as the spices as well. The onions are done. I'm just setting them aside, and then I will put the mushrooms in the same pan, because why wash a second pan when you already have one? What I'm going to do as well, so you can hear that the mushrooms are sizzling away, so they're just kind of deflating. What I'm going to do as well, because I'm not adding asparagus, I'm going to, once the mushrooms are finished, I'm going to set them aside and then put in the spinach in the same pan and then let those wilt a bit. And then you just have to put them in a food processor. The onions are just about done, and I'm just going to drain off the excess liquid and then start on the spinach. I'm going to add about a handful and a half of spinach, because spinach also wilts down and it's also really good. Scratch that, I'm going to add about 2 handfuls. So obviously, depending on whether or not you like spinach or anything, you can put the desired amount. You can put in, like I'm doing, any vegetables you want. So the recipe does call for onions and mushrooms, but like I said, I'm not adding asparagus, I'm adding spinach, and then you can probably add peppers as well. So you can add a lot of like your own ingredients as you want to. It doesn't matter if your onions and your mushrooms are in the same bowl, because they're all going to go into the same processor anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I think I'm going to add in a bit more spinach, because that is definitely not enough. I'm adding in about an extra handful, or probably half a hand, because I've got really tiny hands. So just letting that wilt down and then pull out the processor. Yay. Like I did with the other recipe, I've just pressed the tofu and just drained the water out. Food processor! I have also measured out the water. I kind of eyeballed it because I don't really have a measuring thing for water, a measuring jug for water. So I've kind of measured out what I think is a quarter of it. What the hell? Number 1. What's number 1? Freaking hell. I got it! Now, after that freaking painful ass thing, I'm gonna just put in the tofu, let me check the recipe. In the bowl of the food processor, combine tofu, chicken flour, water and spices until smooth. In goes the tofu. In goes the water. I should have probably put the flour in first. In goes the flour, very messily, and the spices. Don't follow my example, and don't. Wow, the first time Georgia uses a food processor, she mucks it up. No surprise there. Now let us hope and see if this actually works. If I can get the lid on. But that's how. Okay, there, let's. Now. What the hell's supposed to move? Oh my god, no! The pictures are wrong! The pictures are wrong! Just don't. Do not take my advice, please. Can I just squish it in there? You cannot do that. What I'm gonna do is, because I do not own a mixing bowl, I'm gonna use a pan and stick everything in there. This is just more washing for me to do. Yay! What fun! Now. Oh shit, okay. Does that go? Like that. And then, no, that goes first, okay. Got it. Let's hope this works now. Please work. Please, before you do this, make sure you actually know how the hell to use your food processor. And do not, please, I beg of you, do not follow my instructions. It doesn't look centered. Oh, okay. Okay, so if you want to use your food processor, use the pulse. Because I think that's what you're supposed to do. Because it's supposed to go smooth. Yeah, that kind of works. I'm just going to do number 2 because it's a lot easier and it's a lot less time consuming, because I've really got a boatload of dishes to do now because I don't know how the hell to use a food processor. Okay, so that is smooth, so that's been going probably for about 5 minutes. You take your veggies and you just stir them in. Surprised how these are still warm considering how long I have been mucking about trying to figure out how the hell to use this. So you basically, it's a weird ass sound, but you basically just stir it in and combine it. Okay, so I have mixed as much as I can with that, and now I'm just going to grease this and then pour in the weird concoction tofu whatever into the pan. You can use oil, but I'm going to use dairy-free butter because it's just easier, and I suppose it'll be easier for it to get out at the end. I recommend not using plastic wrap because there's a lot better alternatives, but we sadly currently do not have anything else other than plastic wrap and paper towels. And paper towels, I don't want it to get stuck. I'm just going to take a bit, it's probably too much, I'm just going to kind of grease it. Probably second to last moment of truth is just plopping in. Oh no, I don't think that's supposed to come out, or it probably is, because as we know, Georgia cannot use a freaking food processor. I've scraped off all of the that I've managed off of that. I should have learned from the other video, but raw tofu is not good. Sisman, just spreading it out. Try and get it as evenly as possible, and don't really follow me. This is clearly not the best job. That looks so messy. I think what I'm gonna do is just kind of clean the top and the sides, just so it looks a little less messier. Okay, now okay, so this is kind of what it looks like unbaked. I'd say it doesn't look that good right now, but hopefully once it's cooked it will look good. It's pretty sturdy. Like I can kind of jiggle it around without really thinking anything of it, though I should probably keep an eye on it, knowing me and my baking skills. So I'm just going to pop it into a 180 degrees Celsius preheated oven for an hour. So it's 20 past, but an hour's hopefully going to be enough. And there we go. Now it is time to clean this mess of a kitchen. So it has been an hour and the sun is gone. And it is slowly starting to become a lot darker, so sorry about the lighting. But let's take this out and see if it actually worked, I suppose. Oh, don't need those. Ooh, feels good. Now let's cut it. See if it worked. Now let's actually see if it tastes good. So it looks like this. It's kind of a lot more browner than I thought it would be, but let's taste it. I think it's quite flat because you are obviously supposed to use chickpea flour, but I didn't have that. Couldn't find it. That's nice. It's very crispy though, which I suppose is a good thing, but that's really good. Definitely would add a bit more of your own spices, my personal opinion, but it's good. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time. Bye guys.